The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost Here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, this is Richard Jacobs with Future Tech Podcast. My guest today is Miguel Cuneta, co-founder at Satoshi Citadel Industries. And Miguel is here with me late at night in his time, so I appreciate him coming. Miguel, thank you.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, Miguel, so the name's interesting, Satoshi Citadel. What does that mean? Where did the name come from of your company, and what's your background?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Actually, back in 2013, there was this story on Reddit about a Citadel in the future. So it's kind of like a little joke that me and my co-founder said. And, of course, Satoshi, tribute to Satoshi Nakamoto, of course. Mm-hmm. And, so that's what it is. It sounds like a pretty formidable name, so we thought we would go with it.
Yeah, and a citadel is like a fortress in case, I'm not pronouncing it right and listeners can't understand.
Yeah.
All right, well, interesting. So, what do you guys do there? What's the company do?
Well, back in 2014, we started a company with a merchant payment processor for Bitcoin payments, much like BitPay. That didn't stick because we soon realized that back then, at least, we didn't have much users using Bitcoin to pay for like coffee or something, right?
Right.
So we shifted to the next obvious market to tackle, which is the remittance market in the Philippines. And to give you an idea, the Philippines is the third largest receiver of inward remittances annually, next to China and India. And last year we received $27 billion from the 10 million Filipinos that are working outside the Philippines. So we get about 10% of our GDP in remittances. It's a huge industry. So we decided, Bitcoin's a money transfer technology. Let's see how we can use it to make things easier for the people that are paying like 8 to 10% on the average when they send money back home. So we built Rebit.ph, which is quite a well-known remittance platform for sending money to the Philippines in 2014. And that was the one that they caught on. And it grew pretty fast. The next couple of years, we saw transaction volumes from I still remember our first month was like $20,000 US in 1 month. Mm-hmm. And then, within a year, we were doing like 50 times that.
Wow.
50 up to 100 times more than our first month. This also got the attention of some investors that wanted to invest in our company because of this remittance platform.
Can you so just for clarity for listeners, a remittance is when someone from a country like the Philippines comes here for work, they work and they'll send money back home to grandmother, grandfather, and family and all that stuff. And they use
that's what it is. Yeah.
Traditionally Western Union, MoneyGram, that kind of thing.
Similar things, yeah. And they get 10% at least on the average in a fee.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, also the time involved, from what I understand, it may not be every case, but, let's say I want to send money home to my grandmother in the Philippines. I have to go cash my check, then maybe take the bus to the Western Union place, sit there, wait there, pay a fee. Then my grandmother has to go and maybe get on a bus, go to the store, pay another fee, sit there, and then get the money, and then, makes a lot of sense.
That's exactly what happened.
How much money do they send each?
$200.
All right, so this is not big money, and I'm sure the people sending it don't have a lot of money to spare. So 8-10% really eats into that money big time, right?
Yep. So, with Rebit, we were able to create a system where, well, you can send directly Bitcoin on the website, but it kind of evolved from a customer-facing, web app to an actual transfer mechanism that's invisible to the sender and the receiver. So what happened was there's a huge Filipino remittance market from South Korea to the Philippines, and they're paying way more than 10% because of capital controls in Korea. So we partnered with some Korean companies similar to ours, and them facing the customers and the senders, and we facing the receivers, we were able to slash the 10% in half or even more, depending on what kind of payout method you want, right? So we basically turned Bitcoin into a transfer mechanism between our partners abroad.
So can you step me through, how does a remittance work now under your system? Like, what are the steps, and what happens with the Bitcoin? Step by step, take me through it.
It's actually no different from how these people are used to doing it, except that it's cheaper and faster. So when they go to our partner there, they're essentially giving their Korean won to our partners, and these guys send us Bitcoin. So basically turning domestic remittance into an international remittance, because they end up still paying fees, especially depending on which payout methods they use. We partnered with a lot of institutions here that do remittances on a domestic level, so it's actually still cheaper when it comes from abroad.
Well, take me through the path. So let's say again, whether I know it or not, I want to send money back home. So
our partners there send us Bitcoin, and we convert that to pesos here in the Philippines and pay out any way these people want, either in a bank account or cash pickup or cash delivery or whatever service they choose.
Okay, so it's fiat to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to fiat. That's essentially the steps, right?
Yeah, that's what happens right in the middle. So basically, it turns into a settlement mechanism for us.
Okay. What about, if it's a very volatile day for Bitcoin, how do you guys make sure that you don't get killed on the, if someone sends, Korean won and then the price of Bitcoin moves, how do you guys watch out and, beat your risk?
So for our customers, we lock it in, right? So they're protected. Due to the need to survive, we adapted pretty quickly. We learned how to liquidate really fast. We never hold on to our Bitcoins long enough for us to be affected by the big swings. Although there were a couple of times that it did happen, but not enough to hurt as much.
With my finger hovering over the button to send money, I would guess your system probably requotes the price every few seconds to make sure that it's good. As soon as I send it, you probably have a computerized system that gets the Bitcoin, liquidates it back to fiat, and you're done to hedge your risk, right?
Something like that. But to give you an idea also what we've done after Rebit, we acquired buybitcoin.ph, which was a Bitcoin startup in the Philippines. We basically absorbed them into our business. And a lot of the Bitcoins coming in through Rebit is used by Bitcoin when they sell Bitcoin. So we're trying to create this loop, this ecosystem, right? Where people can buy Bitcoins from us, and these Bitcoins are the ones that are coming from abroad. So yeah, that's why we have a lot of different kinds of services.
All right. So what are some of the other services you can help people remit? What else can you do?
So recently, there's been a huge demand for Bitcoin, just buying Bitcoin and buying cryptocurrencies. So we're facilitating a lot of that in the Philippines. We also launched a mobile wallet where people could store Bitcoins and convert it to pesos within the wallet, pay their bills, money to anyone in the Philippines, and what else? Buy a mobile airtime credit through the app.
Oh, so it's a wallet that has extra features, so they can. Is that what it is? It's a wallet where they can store Bitcoin but do other stuff too?
Yeah, they can convert it to fiat within the app. They could pay their bills. They could do a bunch of other things. So
really? Oh man, we don't even have that here in the U.S. Wow.
Yeah, actually, it's a growing number of users. Like we're seeing really big number of new users. I know for a fact that there are over 1 million users now of a similar Bitcoin wallet in the Philippines. There's a couple of other players in the scene. So yeah, you can definitely feel it. Like on the street, if you ask a guy, you know anything about Bitcoin, you can see that a lot of people actually know about it now. So it's a good sign.
That's really cool because, and I may be ignorant, but in the U.S., you have to find a fiat gateway, and then you got to get the money into your bank, and then you can spend it. Or maybe, you can get a card, but you have to, again, get the money back into fiat and then send it to your card, and it's kind of clunky. But a wallet that also has it integrated is really cool. That's great.
The reason why this happens is because in the Philippines, 80% of people don't have bank accounts.
Wow.
Only 3% of the people have credit cards. So, yeah, it's pretty bad situation when it comes to like financial, inclusion and all these things. So a lot of these people are just using an app to do all these banking services using Bitcoin in the background. Yeah, technology is on the rise. Like there's the fastest growing smartphone usage in the region in the Philippines, and I think it's a kind of a perfect storm.
What's interesting is that I only learned about the unbanked and the underbanked, through my interviews. But it's funny, in countries like the Philippines, you said 80% of the people don't have a bank account, and they actually, the solution is not to give them a bank account. The solution is for them to just leapfrog over it and use Bitcoin and have this mobile money on their phone, which is really cool. It's like the jump from landlines to cellular. It's very cool.
That's exactly what's happening. I think that's there's going to be a big shift into like digital, mobile wallets.
So what have you noticed that this does culturally? What's it like to be in a culture where most people? I would guess in the Philippines it was cash transactions for the most part, and now it's moving to more mobile stuff. What have you seen culturally? What's interesting to you, or curious that perks your ears up, and what do you see being on the ground there?
So yeah, you're right. It's 98% of the transactions in the Philippines are done in cash. A lot of people, if they think of money, they have to hold on to it. It's not real money if it's digital, something like that. But you can see a lot of the young people. It's different, right? And our population's average age is 24. So I think there's going to be a quick from that cash dependency to digital, just because of technology and technological adoption and how it works, right? So you got people tired of how banks gouge us with fees. Like one of the biggest banks in the Philippines charges you for moving money from one account to another, same person, that kind of thing, right? So it's interesting because I think this cash dependency will just there's going to be a quick turnaround for this.
Well, I mean, some of the benefits I can just think of with mobile money is it's harder for you to get robbed because you don't have cash on you. So I guess it would make it safer.
That's true.
Depending on how your phone is secured, I think it would be a great way to to transport your own money and have it with you. That's really cool. How is adoption in the Philippines? How many businesses are starting to accept mobile payments, or are they still clinging to cash only?
For Bitcoin, not a lot. It's not there yet, but you can see a lot of similar fintech, kind of like mobile money apps from the big telcos, or from the big bank players, like their own app, that kind of thing. So there is definitely this shift to using digital stuff, digital as payment, in similar to what I think China happened to China.
Okay, very interesting. Any other? That's a great product. The wallet that integrates the ability to spend. What other products do you have in the works, or what's coming out for you guys in the next 6 months to a year?
The biggest thing I think would be the Philippines needs its own order book exchange. It's the next step. I mean, most of the Bitcoin companies here outside of the Philippines, so I think the market is ready for that. We actually tried to set up our own order book exchange a couple of years ago, but there was just not enough people interested. we're also building several applications, if you can see it on our website. We have Keza, which is the reason why I got on this call. It's a stock investment app where you can use Bitcoin. We have KYC.ph, where it's like a blockchain-powered identity management for know your customer procedures, where people can have like a single identity that they can use in different financial applications, that kind of thing.
Okay, that's interesting. What kind of applications and how would it be useful? Just for I can figure it out, I guess.
Yeah,
just tell me, what would be useful.
It's kind of like a universal ID. We don't have this here. It's a pain to like just get a simple bank account to be opened, because you need to give so many documents and that kind of thing.
So what other areas would you need ID in that are common in the Philippines? Which areas do you think it will help the most and first? Mostly
financial applications, or like something that has to do with the government. We're thinking about this KYC thing in conjunction with working with our government as well. So that's in the works.
All right, very good. So what countries are you guys working in? It sounds like South Korea, obviously the Philippines.
The way our business works is anyone can connect to our end if they want to send money to the Philippines. Either customers or sometimes businesses, or have settlements that need to be made here. They go through us. Canada, I would say we have some. Japan, China, Hong Kong, Singapore, mostly in the region, in the ASEAN region.
Okay, quite a few countries. Excellent. So what's the best way for interested people to get in touch with you?
www.sci.ph. From there, you get to see everything we're doing, see who people behind it, and what we want to do in the Philippines and beyond.
Well, very good. Well, Miguel, I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com. You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.